Hey everyone, Steven from Straight Fire Picks. We got best bets for NFL Week 2 on Sunday, September 18th, 2022. We're going to have NFL player prop spreads, over-unders here for you today. We're going to have 3 picks, or rather 4 picks, that I think are great value bets for the Sunday NFL slate. This will be for the Sunday afternoon games. If you're new to the channel here today, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Always appreciate that. We are on the road to 7,000 subscribers. Appreciate all of your guys' support here at the channel. Reminder here at the channel that we are partnered with Prize Picks, so be sure to use our code SFP for a 100% deposit match and your first deposit up to $100 on Prize Picks. Really is a great promo, guys. Definitely take advantage of that. Like I said, it's a free $100. And Prize Picks is a great app to use, a lot of fun to use. You can also use one of our links that we have down below in the comment section and the description. Like I was saying, you can bet on just about anything on Prize Picks. Really is a lot of fun to use. Like I said, use our code SFP for that 100% deposit match, or one of our links that we have down below in the comment section and in the description. Be sure to also check out our community Discord page as well. Great place to connect with our community and to get new ideas for bets. We'll also have a link in the comment section and in the description for that. Be sure to also drop your favorite pick down below in the comment section. If you like your pick included in our comment capper section, just be sure to put a star or an asterisk next to your pick, and we'll include your pick in the video if it hits. Okay, now it's time for a shout out to our Straight Fire MVPs. So as always, guys, you see this beautiful list here running beside me of all of our Straight Fire MVPs. The perks that we've added actually to our program include access to our picks early. So if you're a Straight Fire MVP, you can have access to our picks early, usually about a day in advance or so. Sometimes it's hours. It really just depends. Whenever I get the notes done, basically is when I'll have access to them. You also get a badge next to your name, some custom emojis, shout-outs in our video, and a roll color in the Discord. Really do appreciate all your guys' support. It really does mean the world to me. Just $3.99 per month, and like I said, it's a great way to support the channel and what we do here at the channel, and you get access to those perks. So appreciate all of you guys. And yeah, let's tap right into the results from last week. So for week 1, for our Sunday afternoon games, we ended up going 2-2. It was an okay day. You know, obviously I wish we could have done better. We were able to cash Jonathan Taylor over 96.5 rushing yards. He cleared that line easily. He had over 160 yards rushing, which we love to see that. And then we also cashed the under 44.5 points in the Steelers-Bengals game. Ended up being more of a sweat than it should have been. It should have cashed really easily, but it ended up being a little bit of a sweat, but we were able to cash that. We missed on the Patriots spread. Just a complete mess on that one. They really, were pretty much out of the game most of the game. You could tell they were being outplayed pretty much all day. Ended up losing 20-7. Then we had Juju Smith-Schuster, anytime touchdown score. I think that was still honestly a good pick when I look back at it. Patrick Mahomes threw 5 touchdown passes. Juju Smith had about 80 yards receiving. The fact they didn't catch a touchdown was kind of just unfortunate. Chiefs' offense was humming. Juju Smith had plenty of opportunities and just couldn't find the end zone. Sometimes that's just the way it works, guys. You just get unlucky with that. Yeah, Clyde Edwards-Helaire catching 2 touchdowns, which is like, okay, whatever. So now what we can do about that, like I said, 2-2. Didn't have any call-outs in the comment capper section that I saw for the Sunday afternoon games. But, yeah, be sure to drop your favorite pick for this week, and we'll give you a shout-out if it hits. So let's get right into our picks, though, for today, guys. Let's get this 4-0 sweep. Let's get after it here today in the NFL. So let's get right into our picks here. At number 1, we are going with the Dallas Cowboys plus 7.5 spread here versus the Cincinnati Bengals at minus 110 odds here on BetMGM. So guys, I know Dak Prescott just broke his, part of his hand. He's going to be out for a while. And now we're looking to Cooper Rush, right? 7.5 points for the home team here for the Cowboys is just too many. That's the message I'm trying to get across. I'm not telling you to take the Cowboys money line, even though I don't think a sprinkle on it is a bad idea. But guys, Cowboys 8-2 in the last 10 games at home, covering the plus 7.5 spread. In general, they play pretty solid at home. I know a lot of that's Dak Prescott. But guys, Cooper Rush did get a start last year. Led the Cowboys to a 20-16 road victory at Minnesota. Very impressive road win, and Cooper Rush honestly played pretty good in that game. So I think he has enough ability here to keep this game close. I don't think the drop-off is as crazy as people think with Cooper Rush and Dak Prescott. Honestly, what was the Cowboys offense doing last week with Dak in there? They didn't really muster a lot. So I think, I don't think you're losing a ton here with Cooper Rush. You're losing some. I know Dak Prescott's better. Dak Prescott has the ability to be very good. But I think overall here, I think Cooper Rush could get it done. I think he's got enough ability here to keep this game close. I like the Cowboys running game, obviously, with Zeke Elliott and Tony Pollard. I think they can get going here. And the Bengals defense, their stats were technically good last week, but kind of underperformed when you really look at who they played. Mitch Trubisky, threw for 200 yards and a touchdown, no interceptions. Led the Steelers to a victory there in Cincinnati. Steelers put up 23 points. I know one of those was a defensive touchdown, but I think people expected the Bengals D to even dominate more than they did, and they were good, but I think this Bengals defense still is somewhat beatable. I don't think it's like playing the Bucs defense, which the Cowboys had to play in week 1. And honestly, the Cowboys defense pretty solid as well. Honestly, they played pretty good last week. They held the Bucs to 19 points. Last season, they had the 7th best scoring defense in 2021. They generate a ton of turnovers. Cowboys led the NFL last year with 34 turnovers. And if we know one thing from the Bengals' performance last week, they turned the ball over like crazy. Joe Burrow and the Bengals offense turned the ball over 5 times. So obviously a more aggressive defense with the Cowboys here. Could see more of that. Burrow off to a slow start for sure. So, if this Cowboys defense could generate turnovers, they can also score on those turnovers as well. So, like I said, they just need Cooper Rush really to manage this game, especially just to keep it close. And honestly, I think they're going to have a great chance here to at least cover the spread, possibly even win this game. And honestly, I think this year they have a top 10 defense. They have a running game, obviously, that can get it done. The big question, obviously, is Cooper Rush. And like I said, in the one full start he got last year, he led this team to a win, and he played pretty well. So, I like the trends. Cowboys 8-2 last 10 at home. Other than that, guys, I think that's going to do it for our number 1 pick. I do love it there. We're going to take Cowboys plus 7.5 spread here versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Minus 110 odds on BetMGM. Okay, and at number 2, we are actually going with the over 44.5 points here in the Indianapolis Colts Jacksonville Jaguars game. Minus 115 odds on FanDuel. So, one thing I noticed last week, if you noticed the Texans playing the Colts last week, right? Colts defense did not look very good. They allowed Davis Mills to really kind of run it up on him. He had a 98 quarterback rating, and he hit 9 different receivers, really spreading the ball out. So that secondary back there for the Colts was really struggling. And I think this is going to be an even bigger challenge here with the Jacksonville Jaguars. We know Doug Peterson taking over this team, expecting to see a better offense. And they were honestly pretty solid overall in week 1, posting 22 points. Lawrence looked solid, last week. But this offense is honestly loaded. You got Travis Etienne, James Robinson. James Robinson's very good, by the way. People forget that. When I say James Robinson, he's not an afterthought. He's a very good running back. Evan Ingram at tight end, Christian Kirk, who had over 100 yards receiving in his debut there for the Jaguars, Marvin Jones and Zay Jones, which both those guys also played well as well. So they got the receivers, they got the backs, they got Trevor Lawrence, who honestly is a very talented quarterback. I think they can score enough here to hit this over. And the Jags defense, honestly, their defense was not very good last week either. They allowed 28 points and almost 400 total yards of offense allowed to Carson Wentz. Wentz threw for 4 touchdown passes. So, like I said, guys, I think we'll have a great shot here to hit the over. And the Colts offense still has one name that could score on any time he gets the football. His name's Jonathan Taylor. Guy is so explosive. Led the Colts actually to a big comeback last week to get that tie. Jonathan Taylor was clutch, getting over 160 yards. You have Matt Ryan at quarterback. Now, he didn't look great last week. He definitely needs to play a little bit better. I think the cash is over, but I think he can. I do have confidence in Matt Ryan. I still think he's one of the game's greater quarterbacks. Maybe a little slow there in week 1, but I think versus this Jags defense, I think he can get it done. Jags allowed the 5th most points in 2021. So the defense, obviously last year wasn't good, and in week 1 it wasn't very good either. So I'm not expecting this defense really to do a lot here. I think the Colts can handle them. And on the flip side, I think the Jags could score enough here to get us to the over. So do love it there, guys, for our number 2 pick. We're going with the over 44.5 points here in the Colts-Jaguars game. Minus 115 odds on FanDuel. Okay, and at number 3, we're going with Saquon Barkley. Over 74.5 rushing yards here for the New York Giants. Minus 111 odds here on Caesars. So, guys, Barkley is back. We saw, obviously, the old Saquon Barkley last week. It looked absolutely terrific, posting 194 total yards last week, 164 rushing yards. He was named the NFC Offensive Player of the Week. It was absolutely terrific. And obviously, I would love seeing that. And the Panthers just got exposed last week. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt ran for 217 rushing yards versus the to the Cleveland Browns. Panthers allowed 217 rushing yards to the Browns. So obviously, I like seeing that. This defensive line for the Panthers even coming in, not really surprised by last week because they are very young up front. They have the 24th ranked defensive line according to ProFootballFocus.com. And they cited the Panthers' youth up front. They had a couple key losses on the defense from last year. And even last year, their defense really faded in the back half of the year. The run defense was just average last year anyways. They allowed the 15th most rushing yards per game in 2021. And they really only got worse. Like I said, with the losses that they had there with Reddick and Morgan there on their defense. I think the Giants here rolling a lot of momentum over from that Week 1 victory over Tennessee, the home opener here. Expecting the offense and the players to be, pumped up and obviously ready to play. Expecting another big performance here for Barkley, really, especially in the home opener here. And this Giants O-line actually comes in on Pro Football Focus coming in the year as 18th, about mid-tier, which is honestly a step up for them. They have not had a good offensive line. There was times last week where they did not look very good. But they were able to create some holes there for Barkley last week. I think they'll be able to do that again against a very young front. Looking for Barkley to run it back here and get us at least 75-plus rushing yards. So, love it there, guys, for a number 3 pick. We're going Saquon Barkley over 74.5 rushing yards here for the New York Giants. Minus 111 odds on Caesars. Okay, and finally at number 4, we are going with Lamar Jackson. Under 219.5 passing yards here for the Baltimore Ravens, plus 100 odds on Caesars. Guys, the books really want you to take the over. I promise you they want you to take the over. Well, I don't know if I promise you, but I think they really do want you to take the over. This is a really low total for Lamar Jackson, who honestly had a pretty good passing year last year. He actually cashed the over in 9 out of 12 games that he played last year. So, why am I taking the under? Well, in Week 1... he completed just 53% of his passes, 17 out of 30 for 213 yards versus the who? The Jets. Yes. And I also take into account the Ravens only ran the football 21 times versus the Jets in Week 1. So here's what honestly I see going down. I think the Ravens are going to run the ball a little bit more than that, which should limit Jackson's passing opportunities a little bit more. I think they will run the football a little bit more. Ravens are at their best when they run the football, when Jackson runs the football. And honestly, Jackson didn't look great in Week 1. He really didn't. He did throw 3 touchdowns, but 17 out of 30, 50%, that's just not going to get it done. You're not going to cash a lot of overs with that type of percentage. And they're taking on a top 5 secondary here. They're taking on the Finns, top 5 rated secondary according to ProFootballFocus.com coming into the season. It started out Week 1 versus Mac Jones, held him to 213 passing yards on 30 attempts as well. And you got to take into account the Patriots were playing from behind that whole game. So I think there's a very good chance here, for one, that the Ravens are going to be able to get a lead in this game because this is going to be a great football game. I think the Ravens can get a lead, and if they do, they're not going to really. They're going to want to run the football. That's their identity. That's what they do. Especially against a good defense here on the Dolphins, a good pass defense. They're going to want to run that football. And you can still run this ball here on the Miami Dolphins, right? Miami Dolphins actually allowed the 14th highest yards per carry in 2021 at 4.4 yards per carry. And the 2 backs for the Patriots last week, Ramondre Stevenson and Damian Harris, averaged 4.3 yards per carry last week. So you can still run the ball on this defense a little bit. 17 carries, 73 yards. So I think they can still run the football. I think that should be a very big part of the Ravens' game plan here. Look for Lamar here to go under. It is a little bit scary. Like I said, he had a great passing year last year, but he did lose Marquise Brown in the offseason. Still adjusting to these new receivers. And like I said, the completion percentage just was not there in Week 1 when it really should have been. So do love it there for number 4 pick. We're going Lamar Jackson under 219.5 passing yards here for the Baltimore Ravens. Plus 100 odds on Caesars. Okay, guys, that's going to do it for our picks. If you enjoyed the content, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Always appreciate that. We are on the road to 7,000 subscribers. Check out all of our social media links as well. We post some additional content on our Twitter and our Instagram, updates, recaps, stuff like that. So be sure to follow us on there. Check out our Prize Picks link, like I said, to take advantage of that 100% deposit match on Prize Picks. It is definitely worth looking at that. And also check out our Straight Fire MVP program if you guys are interested in getting the plays early or supporting the channel in that way. Like I said, it's just $3.99 per month. So appreciate all of you. Appreciate all the support. It's been so much fun being back. Let's get after it here in week 2. Let's cash out. Good luck on all your bets, and we'll see you all next time. Peace out.